All right, so one of the things with, hopefully you can see my screen now. It's not showing up properly on mine, but hopefully it shows up properly on yours. With WorldCat, hold on a second, let me, like I said, normally it shows up differently. I apologize for this pause. So if you go to the Nichols Library website, you can go to the Faulkner website, click on Quick Links, drop down to Nichols Library. That will take you to the Nichols Library. It provides you with a couple different options: finding books, finding articles, other types of things related there. So right now we're going to look for books. Here too, a variety of options. You can search the library catalog, which covers books and ebooks, or you can search specifically for just ebooks. A variety of ebook collections that we have related to all sorts of different publishers. We'll click on the library catalog. Now, when it comes to searching, I can search by keyword, by title, by author, by subject, call number. That's the library catalog, Library of Congress catalog number, or if I'm looking for any journal. So let's just put in my verse that I'm looking for. Right, John 7:53 through 8:11. No entries found. Right, and so this is where I need to start, thinking about other ways to do it. Right, there might be books, depending on your subject, there might be books that are covered. But most of the passages are going to be found within books. So I might try commentary and John. Well, now once again I kind of have to look through and find all sorts of things that don't relate to what I'm looking for. So that's one of the problems with the card catalog. After paging down, however, I finally come to commentary on the Gospel of John. And I start seeing, okay, here's several different commentaries on John. Let's just pick one here. And so the problem is that the subject is Bible, John, commentaries. Now, once I found one, though, what's nice is I can click on the subject line, and then I can also click now on commentaries about John. And so here's a list of all sorts of commentaries on the Gospel of John. The other thing is that as you look down through here, there are other types of things to take note of. All right, commentaries on 1 John, all right, John by different chapters. So you have what you have here, of course, is the use of Roman numerals. So that's an important difference that you might not think about. But as we page through, as we come down, oh wait, we do have a book on John chapter 7:53 through 8:11. All right, and then there's two books listed there. All right. So sometimes you might be able to find information just by doing a simple search. Sometimes you have to do a variety of other searches. You can also look up a specific author. Right. Okay, I want to see what else this author has written. Right. And so he's only written the one book. If I want to see what else is in the series, if I have other subjects that are interesting. Right. So there's all sorts of things that are possible here through the catalog. Often the issue is that first, right, finding that first issue. Now I can also, as you saw, click on if it's a physical book, right? This book, number 2, the Pericope Adulterae, Gospel of John and the Literacy of Jesus, is an ebook, right? So I can't do this. But if it's a physical book, I can click on the call number here in the list, and I can see, and I can actually physically see what else is by there. Now in this case, I think it's related to Mark because the first question, counterfeit or genuine, Mark 16, John 8. Right, and so this would allow me to see what's on the shelf nearby without actually having to go to the library. So a wide variety of ways to use the catalog to find things that you want. Again, that's just, I can search by a specific author, a specific title, and then by clicking on the various links that are around, I can, make some determinations as to what it is I'm particularly interested in. Let's look at WorldCat. And in this case, we'll go back to our John 7:53 to 8:11. And it gives me a little bit more opportunity here, but if you look at this result, 244,000. Not all of those are going to be useful to me, because if I just put John, I have John Hunton's diary. Well, guess what? That's not going to help me. Tennessee Frontiers by John R. Finger, right? Not going to help me. John Owen, works at John Wesley. All right, so it's giving me all sorts of names. So one thing that I could do is put the phrase in quotation marks. So I only want to find this phrase. This time now down to 123. A little bit more manageable, but still I might want to go to the subject search to make sure I'm just getting those things related to that. And this time I have 12 results. So I can limit it, but sometimes limiting it might be too much. I might limit it too much, so I have to be careful with that. But it tells me here, right, print book, ebook, archival material, which is a thesis or dissertation, computer file. There's all sorts of things that show up in this type of search. So that is predominantly books, journals, those kind of things. Another way to, or another source, of course, that's helpful for a lot of biblical studies research are journal articles. These are the ones that are more likely than not to be about your specific passage. Depending on the passage, there may not be a book-length treatment of it because there just isn't enough to say in an entire book. But there might be enough to say in a journal article. Unlike scholarly databases, often collect a variety of works. Not everything would be a scholarly work. It used to be that if you wanted to find a journal article on your topic, that you would have to go get a physical book that was an index or was an abstract book, and you would have to flip through, find your passage, and see if anything was written on it. And depending on how they were collected, you might have to go through several years of that to find out what was written in several years. But the databases collect all that material, and so you can do a one-stop shop, right? And so you're just going to that specific place, that specific database. With that, you can do a variety of what are known as Boolean searches. I want to know this term and this term. I don't want just this term. I don't want just this term. I want the two of them. And so woman and adultery. But I can also do or searches, woman or adultery. Right? So I'm looking for either of those. Terms like that are probably not going to be useful because you're just going to get a ton of results and not necessarily be useful to you. But if you just type in woman and adultery, you might get, let's say, works about Leviticus, because there's passages in Leviticus that talk about adultery. So you might want to say woman and adultery, not Leviticus. And so thinking through, what are some other ways that I can say this or I can search that might give me more results? The problem, of course, can become, depending on how you search and what terms you use, you might have too much or you might have too little. And so, thinking about ways of how can I limit this or how can I expand this are ways to make the online databases more useful to you. Let's look at an example of online databases. So going back to our main page for the library, this time I'm looking for Find Articles. Now when I click on Find Articles, there's the main address that comes up, and it gives me a couple of general databases. Some of these are academic. The first two are academic. They tend to be more academic types of sources found in there, but they are very general, and so they may or may not provide you with the information you need to know. So it's important to not necessarily start off with these. Now, all of these databases, to use them, if you are on campus, right, you can get in a computer. If you're on the Wi-Fi, you can pull them up, no problem. If you are off campus, you need to use your student ID number and password. So however you get into the Faulkner network to like look at your, to log into a computer or to look up your email. So those kind of things. So you can access this information. If it has AVL in front of it, that stands for Alabama Virtual Library, meaning that you can access this information from anywhere in the state of Alabama. So if the general databases aren't useful, what would be useful? Well, you can go two routes. First of all, you can click on All Faulkner Databases. This lists all the databases that the library has access to. And as you go down through, you'll notice that all of these provide details about what's included in the database. So, that's a good approach. But what might be more useful is if you go down here to Religion and Philosophy and just focus on that, it will give you all of the databases that deal with religion and philosophy or have subject content related to that. You need to pay attention to this information after the name of the database because it provides you information that is useful. So for example, if I am looking for articles around about John 7:53 through 8:11, I shouldn't look in Old Testament abstracts because John isn't an Old Testament book. New Testament abstracts might be useful. But if you are just looking for a one-stop place, two of the places that would be useful would be JSTOR, or even more useful, ATLA Religion Database with ATLA serials, not the ATLA Historical Monograph Collection or Series 1 or 2. These are not the best for what you're probably going to be looking for. Instead, you want ATLA Religion Database with ATLA serials. This will bring you to this page where you can begin your search. You can limit your search by a variety of things, right? Scholarly sources, only those that have the full text of the article, what years they're published in, are only in this journal article, or are a specific type, multimedia, essay, etc. You can also do an advanced search that allows you to limit it even more, only those that have images. But for right now, we're just going to type in our verse, John 7:53 through 8:11. And it gives me 67 results. Right? So I can begin to go through these, look for some that are what appears to be useful, what appears to not be useful. Additionally, I can see some articles have what PDF full text, meaning if I click on that, I get a copy of the article that I can download if I want to, or I can read online if I want to. Now, some articles say you don't have a full text. So what do you do then? Well, this case, you can click on Journal Finder. I do have access to it online, and then I can try and look it up this way. All right. And so here is the article.